A lot of photographers think better photos come from better cameras. They don't. In my experience, better photos usually come from recognizing better light. And here's the problem. You can watch every photography video on YouTube, read every photography book, buy every lens on the market. But if you can't see light, you'll always struggle to create images with real impact. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 practical lighting exercises that'll help train your eye. No theory, no complicated camera settings, just 5 exercises that you can start today that'll help you see light the way photographers do. And exercise number 4 reveals something about light that most photographers never even notice. So today we're going to cover how to recognize direction of light, how to recognize the quality of light, how to see light before you raise the camera, how to predict good light, how to use light to tell stronger stories. And the best part, you can do most of these without even taking a photograph. But before we get going, this may well be of interest. If you'd like a safe space to continue your photography journey with like-minded people, then why not come and join us in our Photography Foundations community over on School. It's a really safe and friendly place to be. No ads, no algorithms, and no traditional social media nonsense. Just photographers from all around the world who are learning, practicing, sharing, and supporting each other. We have an active forum where members post their images, ask questions, and share ideas. There's a classroom with structured learning and feedback sessions, a members map so you can see who's near you, and regular challenges and discussions to keep your photography moving forward. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, the link is in the description, or you can use the QR code on the screen, and we'd love to see you there. Okay, so for 35 years, in a nutshell, I've basically been studying light, in the studio, on the street, while I'm shooting weddings, taking portraits, landscapes, and pretty much any photo I've ever taken. And the funny thing is this, the more I learn about light, the more I realize it's not something you master as such, it's something you continue to notice. And the good news, anyone can train this skill. Well, if I can, I'm sure you can too. Here's something I was told and well worth remembering. The best photographers don't necessarily find better locations. They find better light within ordinary locations. Just let that sink in. Find better light within ordinary locations. The difference between a snapshot and a photograph is often nothing more than recognizing where the light becomes interesting. Okay, so let's get on with these exercises. The Shadow Detective. That could be a Netflix series. Anyway, this is about learning to recognize the direction of light. So use a coffee mug, a plant, or a person, whatever, and place them near a window. Then move around them. Look for where the shadows are falling, how long they are, how dark they are, and what changes as you move. Most beginners only look at subjects, and that's understandable. But photographers look at shadows as well, because shadows reveal where the light is actually coming from and what it's doing. Imagine you're a detective arriving at the crime scene. You never saw the light source, but the shadows leave clues behind. Your job is to read those clues, if that makes any sense. So while you go about your daily routine, get into the habit of spending 10 minutes a day looking only at shadows. And you don't even have to take any photographs to benefit from this exercise. Just keep a lookout as you go about your day. This exercise is about understanding the quality of light. For this one, take a family member or even a mannequin head. Actually, they don't complain as much, so meet Edna. What we'll do is position them facing the window, side onto the window, at 45 degrees and backlit. So watch how the light on the face changes with each scenario. With them facing the window, you get a flat, even light illuminating the whole face, which is great for light for photographing children. Side on or 90 degrees to the window, you get more of a split light effect, which can be quite dramatic, especially if you introduce a dark flag to cut out any reflections landing on the side of the face furthest from the window. At 45 degrees, you get more of a timeless Rembrandt style of lighting, where the light starts to sculpt the face, adding shape, depth and a little more drama to the portrait. And if you get a little triangle of light on the shadow side of the face, you've pretty much nailed it. With a window directly behind the subject, you'll get a backlight, which you can basically use in two ways. If you expose for the window light, you'll create a silhouette effect. So then it's best to photograph your subject in profile. Or you could expose for the subject's face, totally blow out the background and create a bit of a rim light, which can also be a nice effect. So the takeaway here is that the light source never changed, only the position of the subject in relation to the light source. It's a bit like sitting around a campfire. If you move around the fire, the light on your face changes completely, but the fire hasn't moved, only you have. So far, we've looked at the direction of light, and we've seen how moving a subject changes the way light falls across it. But here's something most photographers don't realize. Light doesn't just change from morning until evening. It actually changes from minute to minute, and that's what this next exercise is all about. So for this one, find any subject outside, maybe a bench, a tree, a flower, or even a person. Then take one photograph. Then don't move and stay there for 10 minutes. Watch what the light does. Maybe a cloud passes overhead. Maybe the sun breaks through. Maybe the shadows start to stretch, or reflections appear that weren't there a moment ago. Then as soon as you notice the light has changed, take another photograph. Now put the two photographs side by side. Look for the differences. The color, the contrast, the shadows, the mood even. You didn't change the subject and you didn't change the camera. You simply waited for a different light. And sometimes that's the difference between an ordinary photo and a memorable one. So here's the big takeaway. Good light is well worth waiting for. So far, we've learned that shadows reveal light, that moving a subject changes the light, and that sometimes the best thing you can do is simply wait. But this next exercise reveals something about light that most photographers never notice. And once you see it, you start seeing it everywhere. So this one is about understanding bounce light. When you think about it, bounce light is one of those things that's pretty much hiding in plain sight. Most beginners think that light only travels in a straight line from the light source to the subject. But that's only part of the story. Light bounces. It bounces off walls, off ceilings, off pavements. It bounces off buildings. It bounces off just about everything. So here's the exercise, and it's well worth giving it a go. Find a subject near a window. Could be a person, a plant, coffee mug, or if you've been following along, Edna is always available. Take a photograph. Now introduce something white. Could be a white towel, a t-shirt, a piece of white cardboard, or even a sheet of paper. Then place it on the shadow side of the subject. And then take a photo again and compare the two images. Look at the shadows, the detail, and the contrast. Look at the overall feel of the image, and you might be surprised just how much difference a piece of cardboard can make. Maybe think of it like snooker or pool. The ball doesn't always travel directly to its target. Sometimes it bounces off the cushion first. Light does exactly the same thing. And once you start noticing bounce light, you stop just finding light and you start shaping it as well. That's a massive step forward as a photographer. Light doesn't stop, it bounces. And if you do a lot with natural light, or you'd like to get into it, it might be worth considering getting yourself a reflector like this, which is actually called a 5-in-1. And as well as white, you'll also have silver reflector surface for more contrast, and a gold surface which introduces more warmth. Anyway, on to exercise 5. Okay, this is one of my favourite exercises because it completely destroys the excuse that you need a better location. Here's the challenge. Go into any room in your house and find 3 completely different types of light. There's only one rule. You're not allowed to leave the room. That's it. So maybe you could use the window light. Maybe you could use light coming through the doorway. Maybe you could use light reflecting off a white wall or a light-coloured surface. Maybe you could use a lamp. Or maybe you could use the curtains to soften the light. The choice is yours. It's down to you. The goal here is to create 3 completely different photographs. So same room, different light. And this is where things start to get really interesting. Because you begin to realize that great photographs don't always come from exotic locations. They often come from ordinary places with interesting light. It's a bit like a chef. Give a great chef the same ingredients as everyone else and they'll still create something special. The ingredients haven't changed, the way they use it has. And light is exactly the same. Basically, better light beats a better location. Oh, and let me know in the comments how you get on. I read and respond to everyone. Right then, as you're still with me, how about a bonus challenge? Here's a really simple challenge you can try. Place your subject near a window. I'll use Edna again, because to be fair, she's been very patient. Take your first photograph with your subject close to the window. Now move them one step further away. Take another photo. Move them one more step, and then take another photo. And then keep going until you've got maybe 5 or 6 photos. Moving your subject just one step further from the window each time. Try to keep everything else as consistent as possible. Keep the subject facing the same direction. Keep your camera position similar. And don't change anything else unless you need to adjust your exposure, which to be fair you probably will. Then put all the photographs next to each other and compare them. Look at how the light on the face changes. Look at the brightness, the contrast, the shadows, and the overall mood of each photograph. The closer your subject is to the window, the brighter and softer the light will appear. As you move them further away, the light will start to fall off. The face may become darker, the shadows may become deeper, and the whole photograph may start to feel completely different. And that's the point of this exercise. You haven't changed the subject, you haven't changed the location. You simply change the subject's distance from the light. And sometimes the best photograph really is just one step away. As I'm sure you'll realize by now, light changes everything. Think of it like music. A great guitarist can make a simple 3-chord song sound incredible, while a poor guitarist can make an amazing guitar sound ordinary. Photography is no different. It's not always the subject, it's what you do with it. So today our 5 exercises were the shadow detective, the window walk, the 10-minute light watch, the reflector hunt, 3 different lights in one room, and our bonus challenge, the 1-step challenge. But more importantly, here are the 5 lessons we can take from all this. Shadows reveal the light. Move the subject, not the light. Good light is worth waiting for. Light doesn't stop, it bounces. And better light beats a better location. If you remember those 5 things, you'll start seeing your pictures very differently. And if there's one thing I hope you take away from this video, it's this. The best photographers don't necessarily find better locations. They find better light within ordinary locations. And that's why 2 photographers can stand in the same place at the same time and come away with completely different photographs. One of them saw the subject, the other saw the light. And that's a skill you can definitely train, one exercise at a time. So before we wrap this up, let me leave you with this one final thought. When most people start photography, they spend a lot of time looking at cameras. Then they spend a lot of time looking at settings. Then they spend a lot of time looking at photographs taken by other people. And that's all definitely very valid and part of the journey. But they forget to spend time looking at light, really studying it. Light is the raw material of photography. Without light, there is no photograph, full stop. And the great thing is, light is everywhere. It's streaming through your window right now. It's bouncing off walls. It's casting shadows across the floor. It's changing every hour of every day. And most people walk straight past it without ever noticing. But you don't have to. From today, you can choose to pay attention. You can choose to notice the shadows, the reflections, the shapes, the direction, the quality, the mood even. The more you notice light, the more you'll start to see photographs everywhere. And light is totally free to study. So don't worry about taking 100 photos this week. Just focus on noticing all those little moments of light, because that's where better photography begins. Not with a new camera or with a new lens, but with a new way of seeing. And once you learn to see light, you'll never look at the world in quite the same way again. So if you try any of these exercises, let me know in the comments which one you found most useful. And as I mentioned in this video here, stop learning and start doing. and if you watch it, that will make sense. Don't forget to check out our Photography Foundations community, and if you found this useful, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, it really is appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.